Hello and welcome to your first lesson on Patient Opinion. Patient Opinion is an independent site where you can leave your feedback about UK health services. The first lesson covers the home page, which is what you can see now. It tells you where you can tell your story about services, and it tells you where you can click and find out more about Patient Opinion. At the top of the screen, it shows you where you can find out more about what Patient Opinion is saying and thinking on the Twitter page, Facebook and blog. You can also find out what language that you'd like to see the screen translated into. You can choose what size of lettering you view the website in and the colour of the website and contrast. If you hover your mouse over here, it tells you that there's information for British Sign Language users and there's videos and stories behind that icon when you click on it. Here's where you log in, but we're not going to cover that in lesson 1. That's for lesson 2. So if you scroll down the screen here, you will see that there's featured stories and it tells you the very latest stories from across the country. There's a video here which we're going to look at in a few minutes. It also says who's listening to your stories and how many stories received a reply, and the amount of responses that led to changes. Further down, tells you what people are saying, what's good, but what could be better, and how people are feeling. And when you go to the very bottom of the page, you can also find out where to contact Patient Opinion and where to follow them on Twitter. So we're going to go back up the screen now, and we're just going to have a look here at the video, and you hover your mouse over it and click. And view it in full screen here.
Meet Hilary.
My mum was on a hospital ward and there was no phone, so we couldn't speak. So I went on the Patient Opinion website and told my story.
Meet Brian.
When I was diagnosed with bowel cancer, it was the nurses that helped me to accept what I was being told. I wanted to let them know what they did for me and to keep doing it for the next patient. So I told my story on the Patient Opinion website.
Your story comes to us at Patient Opinion. We send your story anonymously to just the right staff so that they can hear what you think. They can share it with other staff so that they keep doing the good things and change the things that need changing. Hilary told us,
The next day the hospital put a phone for patients on my mum's ward. I think my story is rather dull, it's about phones, but I think it made a difference, not just for my mother, but for other visitors and patients in that ward.
we hear hundreds of stories from across the country, and together we're all making healthcare better. What's your story? Tell us about your experience of using health services at patientopinion.org.uk or give us a call on 0800 122 3135.
Welcome to lesson 2 on Patient Opinion. We're at the home page again, and this time we're going to tell a story. Click here. This will take you to the next window where you can tell your story. If you are a member of staff or a feedback volunteer and you're coming here for the first time, what you may be asked to do is to collect a story on behalf of somebody else. You may be collecting feedback in a ward area or in the community. The first thing you do when asking somebody to tell their story is ask, do you have an email address? If the answer is yes, then what we do now is proceed and tell their story, helping them as much as possible to give their opinion in their words. The first thing is, what is your story about? In this case, it's about staff and volunteers working together. What we do tell people is to remember that it's always anonymous and that no information or email addresses are ever shared publicly online. We tell people what will happen to their story. We must tell them that it will be published online, and then they will receive an email to say that it's been published, and then we will make sure that we send it to the right staff to get an answer to the feedback. In lesson 3, we'll continue to tell our story by starting in the what happened section.